every Yellowstone season ranked. Since its release, Yellowstone has captivated viewers with beautiful landscapes and an Old West sensibility. Contemporary problems and the brutality of human nature unravel throughout its 5 seasons. Centering on the Dutton family, who manage the Yellowstone Ranch, the show follows their conflicts as they struggle to preserve ranch culture. Gunfights, deaths, and rivalries are all part of the family affair. The bingeable and highly entertaining show has since expanded into a franchise with multiple spin-off shows at work. Perhaps the stunning, nostalgic aesthetic is what makes the show so captivating. There's something about Yellowstone that draws viewers into its Western world. The show's atmosphere holds everything in its universe together throughout all 5 seasons. What might seem repetitive to some may be considered an honored tradition by others. However, one thing viewers can all agree on is that Yellowstone is one of the best Western shows made in recent years. Updated by Jordan Yakabuchi on January 1, 2025, Yellowstone has come to an end after 5 seasons, finally concluding the epic drama of the Dutton family and their ancestral ranch. The final episodes of Taylor Sheridan's iconic Western series have divided fans, leaving them with mixed feelings about the final season. This list has been updated to reflect Yellowstone's most recent season. Season 5B is a mixed bag that ends well. The second half of Yellowstone's 5th and final season is a turbulent affair that doesn't always live up to the hype. The show's final episodes were infamously delayed when Kevin Costner elected to leave the series during production, forcing Taylor Sheridan and the other writers to accelerate their finale, which was then intended to come in Season 6. Season 5B of Yellowstone opens with the assassination of John Dutton, then proceeds to unravel 2 different storylines, with one depicting the aftereffects of his death and the other exploring the days leading up to his murder. The final episodes revolve around Beth and Case desperately struggling to hang onto the ranch after getting hit hard with the inheritance tax on the property, eventually forcing them to make a difficult decision regarding their family's future. Season 5B has its highs and lows, but the first few episodes contain more of the latter as Yellowstone desperately tries to regain its footing after suddenly killing off its lead character. While the season evens out over time, it never fully recovers from John Dutton's death. Moreover, certain character arcs fail to live up to their years of build-up. Jamie Dutton's storyline is particularly disappointing, with the character never fully living up to the villainous arc set up for him in previous seasons. However, despite the many drawbacks of Yellowstone's final episodes, the series' finale manages to provide a satisfying ending that ends the show on a high note. Season 4 continues the clichés from previous seasons. Maybe it's the fact that Season 3 is simply too good to suppress, but Yellowstone Season 4 lands flat and marks the beginning of the show's downfall. Not a lot happens throughout the season. Even the surprise attack on the Duttons didn't lead the show anywhere new. Disappointment comes when a show fails to meet viewers' expectations, and Season 4 is a good example of that. Viewers have accused this season of falling back into its own clichés. There's just nothing new in Season 4 that catches viewers' attention. Season 4 has some of the worst twists and repetitive storylines in Yellowstone, making viewers worry that the show has run out of new ideas. The bunkhouse serves as the primary site for Jimmy, but now that he has become a real cowboy, the bunkhouse's purpose has been completed. Beth has gone from being a difficult but lovable character to someone very toxic. Jamie always messes up. This season again includes failed assassinations, which seems like a recurring event every season. It does get old in Season 4, especially when most of the scenes don't contribute to the plot in any significant way. But of course, this season's importance goes beyond a storyline. Yellowstone tells the story of the American West and John's way of life. It taps into politics a little too much. While critics praise the show for taking a stand about preserving ranch culture and telling tales of late-stage capitalism, some viewers turn their noses up as they sense the insertion of politics. Some even accuse the show of being an advertisement rather than a proper story. Season 5A is a predictable and bland start to the final season. Yellowstone's story gets too drawn out in the first half of its last season. After a disappointing 4th season, the entire show is at stake in Season 5. If it continues making the mistakes the show made in Season 4, it could mark the end for Yellowstone. Sadly, While Season 5 does improve slightly in its first half, it's still not up to the show's previous standard. At this point, it seems safe to conclude that the quality of the storylines has declined over the years. Season 5 is tumultuous. While the show could be holding its cards close to its chest and waiting to hit viewers with a dramatic punch near the end, Season 5 continues along the same lines as Season 4. There's again not much going on in the season. The killings slow down at first before picking back up again. The show also runs the risk of falling victim to low-grade melodrama soap with very few important storylines. John becomes the governor in Yellowstone Season 5, which is interesting, but the rest of the characters seem to be trapped in who they always have been in the previous seasons. The mid-season finale brings Yellowstone some decent cliffhangers that fans can get excited about. Case and Monica decide to move back to the ranch, and Jamie plots an attack on John and Beth. Yellowstone Season 3 is well-balanced and character-focused. Season 3 uses its iconic characters to the show's benefit. After 2 seasons of Old West mentality, the third season of Yellowstone swings back with more contemporary issues. When a massive corporation sets its mind on tearing up the ranch to build an airport in its place, the threat is here, and it is real. While the first 2 seasons of Yellowstone paint a big picture with massive landscapes, the problems are focused and tight. The show attends to everyday problems instead of big world-saving issues. It is realistic and complicated. Season 3 feels more grounding and real compared to the previous 2. This season is well-balanced with a good amount of melodrama and character studies. It's less tense compared to the previous season. However, the Dutton camping trip marks a highlight in the show. There are certain dull moments, but the show still manages to keep things engaging enough and filled with occasional lives-at-stakes cliffhangers that are less intellectual, but still effective. The Dutton family dynamics also give out a modern-day The Godfather vibe.
Season 2 is the most intense.
The Duttons face tougher enemies in Season 2. The Beck brothers are determined to antagonize the Duttons. Experts at manipulation and intimidation, the duo are the best antagonists in the show, throwing viewers some disturbing scenes when their actions are being justified. Season 2 is not short on violence. The attack on Beth keeps viewers on the edge of their seats, and the Beck brothers' storyline is gripping. On the other hand, for a show that tightly focuses on the pain humans inflict on each other and themselves, it also seems to spend a lot of time portraying family drama. Yellowstone Season 2 includes some soapy moments that undermine the seriousness of the show, while telling a tale about political power with an Old West sensibility. It continues to put the Duttons in the foreground, but the camera has also turned to the workers and employees who help things run, which many viewers find refreshing. Jimmy is still learning what it takes to survive in Yellowstone, adding his outsider's experience to the show. Rip Wheeler is struggling internally as he continues to serve the Dutton family. Cowboy adds his perspective to help viewers understand the structure and day-to-day tasks on the ranch. People test each other's limits and act out of their own interests. They protect themselves and make sure that nothing goes unavenged. Like his ancestor James Dutton, John, the disgruntled Dutton patriarch, has a connection to self-imposed misery. His stubbornness is reflected in everything that's happening at the ranch and the show, with an emphasis on misery and sorrow. He's the one making sure everything is under control, and maintaining the balance of things is hard most of the time. Season 1 gets Yellowstone off to a great start. Yellowstone's premiere season captivated viewers. Season 1 gets credit for launching the entire Yellowstone franchise. The franchise has Season 1 to thank for the 2 Yellowstone spin-off shows already out and more in the works. The narration, atmosphere, and world-building set the tone for everything to come. It's so effectively captivating that it has drawn a massive fan base since day one. The feature-length first episode is excellent. The first season tackles the tension between the Dutton family and the neighboring Indian tribes and sharply points out the main family conflicts. Not to mention, greed-driven land developers have their eyes set on the location. With political intrigue and new businesses that threaten traditions and the old ways of life, the show ties up contemporary struggles in cowboy fashion. Season 1 gives the show a strong opening and provides plenty of intrigue for fans to ponder. However, some viewers do find the show tends to slip toward over-the-top melodrama. The The scene where the meth lab explodes while Case and Monica are out on a drive seems too unrealistic. Many viewers have found Yellowstone bingeable and highly entertaining. Set against the backdrop of mountains, rivers, and valleys, the first few episodes are packed with engaging storylines and intriguing characters. Lee's death in the season finale also sets the stakes high. Natural beauty contrasts against bloody human crimes. The world established in the first few episodes continues to expand throughout the entire season.